Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings. So today I will be presenting about addressing cyberbullying through linguistic precision, which require me to explain about professional documentation, restorative practice, and applied grammar. So the slide was prepared by myself, Siti Shakira binti Muhammad Yaakob, for Task 2 TSLB1104, Grammar in Context. So before we get into it, as it being shown on the visual on the presentation slide, we know that in today's digital world, communication is no longer face-to-face interaction, but also happening in online interaction. And even for a student myself, I usually use Google Classroom, Google Meet, and even through group WhatsApp to interact with my friends or with my teachers. So it is very crucial to be in surface or in trend of today's communication medium. So this presentation actually will demonstrate how language, grammar, and communication strategies can be used effectively in real education institutions. So let's move to the first slide. This is what I will be focusing today, which is macro, stand for style and register. So what is style or register? So as we know that style and register actually refer to how language change depending on the context and the audience. So it's basically tone. Before we're trying to write an essay or even talk, we will think of one tone what we will be using. For example, like when I'm writing an essay to a teacher, like a report, it will be formal use, right? And for like a restorative conference, we will use more empathic register, which is more respectful, I could say, supportive tone. So it's encourage students to share their feelings and to even share anything about their day and all, and create a safe environment. So the third one is reflective register, which is focuses more on personal and reflective development. So here we more focus on how we think, an opinion, and what has affect us from these and that issues. Okay, moving on to the second, which is meso, which also stand for cohesive devices. So cohesive devices is practically a linking words where we can improve the flow of our essay, our talking, speech, and all. So they are very important in order to lead or to let the audience understand the flow of the essay even more. Okay, so there's a few I use actually. For example, like sequencing words. For example, like following the incident, and it's actually organize an event in a logical order. And the second one is cause and effect connectors, which such as therefore. So as we know, therefore stand for like the impact, right? From the so that we will elaborate more using the therefore cohesive devices. And also I also use contrast words such as although, because it actually helps us show the difference between the situations. So there's one statement from Zahir 2024, which says that cohesive devices play a key role in helping both writers and speakers to structure their ideas clearly. So actually, this cohesive devices is very important, mostly in writing, because it helps us structure a better essay, as you know. Okay. So the last one is micro, which is applied grammar. So basically, grammar is very important no matter in essay, in our speech, daily speech, or all, because it helps us specifically maintain the professionalism boundaries, and even it helps us, focus more on what we're gonna talk about. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, this is the 3 different essays that I mentioned earlier, which is incident report, restorative script, and student reflection. So basically, incident report was just like what I talked about just now. Incident report use a formal documentation, which is formal tone. Okay. Because as we can see on the slide itself, the audience is school management and all. So the purpose of incident report is to establish factual timeline and policy alignment. So basically, incident report is where we explain further about the case, like just like in my assignment. Incident report is where I explain in detail about the cases that I choose myself. So this is being used in formal language to avoid emotional expression or to avoid bias. So one important features in incident report is passive voice, such as police report has been logged. So here we actually not focus on the individuals, but we're focusing on what happened, and also to help maintain neutrality. So in additional, the report is also organized in sections, such as I write a background, the individual involved, and timeline. So it was very important to ensure clarity and ensure that information is easy to follow. The next one is restorative conference. So the restorative conference is more focused on empathic communication, like I said. So in here, the teacher or the host actually use more respectful and supportive language to help the student being more open-minded or express more of their emotion rather than hiding it and being scared of expressing them. So for example, was like the teacher said, you can go through my assignment, you can see that I write some from the teacher which just said, thank you for sharing. This actually shows appreciation and encourage the student to speak more about their emotion. And then actually this type of communication help students reflect on their action and take the responsibility, because as you can see in the restorative conference, they are basically expressing their emotions and reflecting on their own wrongdoing rather than saying everything they do is the right thing, right? So restorative communication is very important in creating a positive and safe environment rather than hiding it to yourself. Moving on to the next one, the last one, which is student reflection. So this reflection actually focusing on professional learning, and also this focus more on personal development or something. Yeah, and this is where it reflects on how communication affects students, because if you look closely, this form sheet actually written by a student, and it is where they spill out their opinion, and reflect on the issues that has been evolving around them. So just highlight the importance of ethical communication and digital compatibility. So basically, reflection is very important for students and even teachers to help them improve their communication and even improve their own behavior, improve their behavior. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so this basically just like I've said just now, style or the tone of the essay. This actually shows three different essays. Just the formal and objective stand for are being used in the report, and empathic supportive was used in restorative conference, and reflective or moral used in reflective shade. So actually this learning about the tone that we're going to use is very important. Just like I said, it was very important because it helped us understand why, who are we writing this to, who is the audience and all. The next one is about cohesive devices. So this a few examples that I took from my own assignment. So as we can see, actually cohesive devices is very important, right? To link one sentence to one other sentence. Okay, so if you look closely, it is very important to have a cohesive devices in your essays because it is to improve more of the flows of your essay and all, which making it more professional and more more understandable. And this is the grammar use. Okay, so grammar, as we know, grammar play an important role in communication. So this is a few use pattern in my assignment. So I use report statement, SVO, subject verb objective, subject verb complement, and even adverb clauses. So reported statement was like research indicates that. So this is actually being used with a purpose. So the purpose is to remove personal bias, which is very important because in a formal documentation like incident report, we need to make sure that the information is more, I could say, public, because that is where we are delivering information rather than citing anyone in the news itself. And the subject verb objective, this actually to, like, it's very important to have subject verb objective to see the structure of your sentence, because it's more easier to deliver direct and factual reporting. And subject verb complement. Cyberbullying is a serious issue. It was like a statement which is easier to define the issues that you're trying to deliver, right? So the last one is adverb clauses. Although the harassment spread quickly, teacher intervened. Okay, so this actually captures complex interpersonal dynamics and simultaneous event. So all this grammar is actually important, very, very important, because if we don't have any grammar, it was like just you're walking on a bridge without a good structure, which will eventually collapse, right? So the last one, I think that's all. Okay. So as you can see on the slide, accountability in digital spaces is not only legal or disciplinary; it is moral and educational. So to conclude this presentation, effective teacher communication is actually very, very important which is required an appropriate style, register, cohesive devices, and accurate grammar. So, based on my assignment, it is clear that communication played a key role in shaping or addressing issues such as cyberbullying and supporting student well-being. So, teachers actually need to talk in very different way in a different situation. You know what I mean? Like, if you're talking to something like very serious, you need to have that formal tone. If you were talking to your student about something sensitive issues and all, you need to use the empathic tone. So teachers actually required to have many sides, I could say, because they need to change the tone they're using each time, you know. Okay, so ultimately effective communication actually creates a safe, respectful, and supportive learning environment. I think that's all to conclude our presentation for today. So I think that's all for me. I'm so sorry for lacking in any way or another. So I think that's all for me. Thank you. Bye.